Hello and welcome back if you're joining from games 5 and 6. If you're just now joining, this is going to be game 7 and game 8. I have done VOD reviews from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 thus far, so if you're interested in watching any of those, you can see here which ones you might be interested in. In games 1 through 4, Megga did really well, placing pretty high in all of them and getting 5 total kills in those 4 games. Games 5 and 6, he dies early, gets 1 kill in game 5. And now we're going to be looking at game 7, where he also dies early again, and then game 8. And just as a reminder, games 1 through 6 were all in one day, and then games 7 through 12 were all in day 2. So game 7 was his first game coming out in day 2. Doesn't do very well. I think it's I think the 1 placement point for 75th, I believe that's correct. So 1 placement point here, not very good, but then kind of closes it out really well in the next game. So, but for this video, we're just gonna be looking at games 7 and 8. So let's jump right into game 7. Here is Megga flying in, but we're gonna go ahead and take a quick look at the pathing of the battle bus and where the storms are going to come into play here. So looks like the bus went this direction here. So kind of starting on the shark side and then coming across diagonally. And the storm looks like it's going to end over near the water over there near the shark. Maybe that's over. Let's see if I can get us closer over here. Oh, kind of over, what is that, Pleasant? But for our purposes here, Megga's going to drop and then land at his normal spot and then kind of do the normal rounds of getting the shield over here near the swamp or in the swamp and then kind of rotate in. And then he's going to die a little early here in 74th place. So let's jump back into the gameplay here. And we'll speed this up because by this point, if you've been watching the previous games, we're pretty familiar with how all this goes down. And recently, in the last games of day 1, we saw him kind of scouting. We saw him scouting the lumber mill or log place, whatever you call it. And if no one lands there, sometimes I think in one game he did land there, but this time he's going to land back at his normal spot at the colorful houses on the shore on the beach here. Gonna loot up, get all of his loot, and then fish. Actually gonna drink a big shield there because he wants to take these 2 slurp fish, which obviously you can't blame him for wanting to do that. Get that chest there. So he's working with a blue AR and a green pump here, and then good fish amounts here. So 3 floppers and 2 slurp fish and minis as well. Now he's gonna rotate in, hit the mushrooms like normal, and then gets tagged here. Let me slow it down. It's pretty difficult to see what's even happening when you're at 4 times speed, but I just wanted to get past the early game there. So it does get tagged there, but it's going to be able to heal up with the slurp containers, of course, just like every other game. So max health, max shield. And the storm pulls really not far away from him at all. So he landed here, rotates into swamp. He's right here right now. And then he's just going to go ahead and probably rotate in, which is why you see him turn north back towards his landing spot. Just rotating, picks up some extra minis. That's good. Leaves the big shield because he has 2 slurp fish. So now he has 6 minis, 2 big shields. This is the game where he's going to die in, I think, 74th place. So something kind of goes wrong here. Oh, runs into a llama. That's not bad at all. So he gets a free launch pad here. Didn't really need the mats, but free launch pad and a choice of whatever shield drops from that as well. But he's just going to stick with what he has. Well, it's unfortunate that he dies here. I mean, I would imagine at this point he's feeling pretty confident, pretty good. I mean, with the launch pad, with a good burst AR, and then, I mean, the green pump is what it is, but I would imagine he's feeling good here. I mean, he's in the circle. He has a decent loadout, plenty of healing. He's over here by Holly, not quite far into the circle, but I mean, still, I mean, I'm assuming someone just pushes him. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Gonna go ahead and rotate deeper into the circle, try to get closer to the center so that he'll be closer to the next circle. And as it pulls, you see, yeah. So he went ahead and started moving early, knowing that he would be closer to it if he went ahead and went. But then it pulls, and he's exactly right, headed in just the right direction. And I would just like to point out that, I mean, he saw people in the area here when he built up over here. And he just wanted to scout and make sure he's not going to get beamed too hard, and then goes ahead and rotates once he feels like, and he's confident in the fact that he's going to be able to rotate. There's someone behind him here. He builds some walls, it looks like, to protect himself. Just trying to be as careful as possible, constantly looking around, gathering information. Gets into the circle. Looks like he's going to go ahead and try to get into the center. This is him right here. He's going to go ahead and try to get closer, as close as possible to the center. He sees there's people everywhere. Now he's going to get shot at. He's probably just going to box up here and chill. Gets tagged for about 42. Going to go ahead and build with brick here to farm up this wood. And he's going to die here soon. So, yeah, I'm assuming either he's going to make a bad rotation into people, or someone's going to push him, or he's going to get sniped. We'll see, because here it is, 74th. He dies in 74th place, so 74 players left. He is 22 above the threshold here. So whatever happens here is unfortunate. I mean, really good, really good healing. A launch pad. He's got decent mats, almost max mats. He might end up just getting chosen by the lobby to be sprayed here. We'll have to see. Yeah. Yep. Okay. So he's gonna be he's being chosen by the lobby, right? And if you've watched competitive Fortnite, or if you've ever played competitive Fortnite, and sometimes even in arena, this happens as well. People just start shooting at you, or one person can start shooting at you, and then people see that, and then a second person starts shooting at you, and then someone else sees that two people are shooting at one person, so then they're going to join it, they're going to start shooting at one person. But what I kind of want to talk about is what can you do to help prevent this from happening? And to be fair, I think that sometimes, and maybe a lot of times, there's not a lot you can do. When it happens, it just happens, and it's not that you necessarily put yourself in a bad spot. I mean, Megga could have moved in here before Zate and Nexi BTW, before they moved in, right? And then they come in and kind of surround him, and so I don't think that it's always necessarily the player's fault. I mean, certainly you can try to do things to avoid being in the center of the line of sight of multiple people, but sometimes I just don't think there's a whole lot you can do about it. And I don't know if that's necessarily the situation I don't know if that's the case in this situation, but I kind of want to just, what could Megga have done in this situation to prevent this from getting out of hand and becoming the target here? And well, not from becoming the target, but once he became the target, what could he have done to live, right? So, okay, let's just kind of analyze this a little bit. So here's Megga, kind of on this little hill here, but it's not a huge. I mean, if he was down here, maybe he would be out of line of sight of Zate, or maybe Zate wouldn't have a great clear line of sight. I mean, I think Zate still would have been able to see him if he was down here, but maybe not as well. Maybe Zate wouldn't have felt as confident that he would have been able to get some tags on him. So maybe that's something that Megga could have done, is like immediately, as soon as he starts getting shot at, he could have immediately just like expanded out this way. Maybe, I don't know. But then there's Commandment or Commandant or whoever this is down here. So I mean, just not a lot of options. I mean, there's no one over here. I mean, maybe he could have tarped over to this hill and gotten down here. But let's take a look at what happens here. So I'm going to slow it down just a little bit. I don't know exactly. Well, it should happen soon here. So let's see who starts shooting. And I think actually Megga might have started shooting at someone first. Yeah, so he's opening the triangle edit, the half edit here, starts shooting at Timbers. And now Nexy's shooting at him, right? Because Nexy had a pretty clear line of sight at Megga. So now, okay. So Nexy starts shooting, right? So in this situation, what I think you have to do if you're playing extra cautious, which Megga is a cautious player, I think what you have to do as soon as you start getting shot by one person with a clear line of sight of you, and if you have gathered enough information, you should know that there's someone also on the other side of you with clear line of sight of you. So now you know that there are two players on opposite walls from you, and that is just like a terrible situation because you're gonna have to protect yourself from this front wall where Nexy is over here, and now you know there's someone on this other wall. So if they start shooting you, now you're going to be have to protecting these two opposite side walls, which is nearly impossible. They're 100% going to get tags on you. So what I think that you have to do in this situation like this is as soon as this first person, in this case Nexy, starts shooting at this wall, you have to expand. There's literally nothing else you can do. You have to expand. And if it was me, I would suggest changing to metal as soon as you can, like immediately. Change to metal and expand at least 2 boxes. So, I mean, he can come this direction or that direction or just go both directions and expand. I just think you have to expand. You cannot sit in a box and try to hold these walls. And Megga is plenty fast enough to do that, to open up an edit right here and expand this way. And so I don't know. I mean, I guess in the moment he just thought, I'm just going to hold this wall to protect myself from Nexy, and the Nexy's going to stop shooting at me. And he just forgot that Zayt was back here. I mean, again, people, I mean, this is a very common thing that happens. You get chosen by the lobby and you just get shot to death. But I think that it's preventable if you just play extremely defensive and you have to burn mats and just expand. Okay, so let's see. This is exactly what happens. So Zayt starts shooting. Okay, but now look, there's a third person. So Commandant notices that Nexy and Zayt are both shooting at Megga, so he's like, okay, well, this is a free kill. If I just join in, I might get the kill. Okay, so now there's 3 people shooting. He's officially been chosen by the lobby. Zayt continues to shoot. And there's, I'm pretty sure Nexy was still shooting. I couldn't see the bullets, but someone was still shooting over here. And the Commandant's still shooting. And now, look, now you have, I don't know if it's Eclipse or Timbers and this person over here. So now potentially like 5 people shooting at Megga. Now what would this look like if he had immediately expanded into metal? Maybe the same thing would have happened. I mean, I can't say for sure that expanding is going to save your life, but you are going to die if you don't expand. There's just no question. It happens all the time. If you do not expand, you are dead when you're chosen by the lobby like this. So your only option is to expand as much as you feel you need to. You're gonna burn all your mats, but it might save your life, and then you might get a impact kill right after this and be set, right? Like, you just have to expand. I think the mindset of like, well, I don't want to burn too many mats is just the wrong mindset in this situation. And I think also at this point, when there's 5 people shooting at you, it's too late. I don't think that you can expand when there's 5 people shooting at you unless you just have incredible build mechanics and incredible speed, which I think very few people have enough speed and mechanics to do that when there's 5 people shooting at you. So I think the whole thing is you just have to expand immediately. And if you want to play extra cautious, as soon as one person starts shooting at you, go ahead and expand. Go ahead and expand at that point. As soon as one person starts shooting at you, if you think it's even remotely possible that you could be chosen at that moment, go ahead and expand. 2 boxes in metal. Just expand out. Give yourself a chance, you know? Megga starts to try to expand here, but it's just way too late. He's already been tagged. There's already 5 people shooting at him. It's just too late. So, I don't know. Just my thoughts. You can let me know what you think down below in the comments, but we're going to go ahead and move on to Game 8. Let's take a look really quickly at the battle bus trajectory and the storm here. So, I can't even see where this which way this is going. It was an early drop, yeah. Early drop from Megga. So the bus went pretty much right over his landing spot, and then it's just going straight across here from west to east. This direction, and then the zone is going to end up over here near the water again. Seems like there's been a lot of zones over there. It's interesting. All right, let's jump back into gameplay here. And again, we're going to just speed this up. Megga's landing at his normal spot. Kind of pulls over the water to get a better spot. Oh, it doesn't land at the houses, actually. Lands on the llama. Okay, so spots a llama. And then he's definitely scouted to make sure no one else is going to land there. It goes ahead and lands on the llama, which is great. I mean, everybody would love to start out with almost max mats and the free launch pad and all the heals that you get from that. So, yeah, because he got that llama, he already had a bunch of shield. And so then he finds 2 more big shields. So goes ahead and drinks the big shields to give himself full shield because he has 3 big shields already. I mean, left over. And he knows he's going to get a bunch of fish here too. He actually leaves the slurp fish there because he has 3 bigs and 3 minis. So, and it's just much more likely that you're going to find, you know, extra bigs or extra minis rather than finding another slurp fish after this point. So he knows that it's worth leaving the slurp fish there. All right, so making this normal rotation, he already has shield. So I guess here he's just trying to get some extra loot. He's looking for tags over there at the oil rig. At the oil rig. Gets a tag there. Gets another tag there. So, I mean, literally just looking for storm surge tags. I mean, it's just what you kind of have to do in these games where there's definitely going to be storm surge. And is in the circle again. I mean, it seems to me that he's gotten really good circle RNG. I don't know. Already in the circle, down here in the swamp and on Misty, so he's going to just stay here, I'm assuming. I'm not sure why he would go back north, so. Just farming up his brick and wood. He threw his fish down there, so we go. He's gonna try to get an extra, one extra flopper. I think he only had 3, so just looking for more, which is great. I mean, he's able to find a fishing spot and then find another fishing rod. He got a slurp fish. Decides to leave the slurp fish. So in this case, maybe it would have been worth actually picking up the slurp fish from his original landing spot. But I mean, there's just no way to know that you're going to be able to find another fishing spot. But all right, blue AR, blue pump. It looked like he got shot there. Didn't take damage. Really good loadout again. I mean, it seems like Megga was able to find a great place to land where he's just guaranteed, you know, amazing heals every game. And I definitely think that plays a part in how well he was able to do in this tournament. I mean, if you're forced to land in a spot, you know, if you've been pushed out of all the locations where you want to land and you're landing in a spot where you're not getting good healing, it's just such a bad situation because you're gonna get tagged. Like, everybody gets tagged in these games. You do not have enough mats to constantly protect yourself from the amount of people who can be around you at any one time in these tournaments. You just have to have as much healing as possible. I mean, nearly everyone in these tournaments, as far as I'm aware, takes 3 heals. AR, shotgun, 3 heals. I mean, not everyone. I'm sure everyone doesn't. I mean, it's somebody. A lot of people probably have heavy snipers. People probably have are carrying SMG. I know that there's a lot of controller players who just run SMG, AR, no shotgun. So I mean, and then 3 heals. So it's just so important to have the heals because here we are. Megga just gets tagged for just about 100, but because he has all these extra heals, just quickly boxes up and heals back up, and he's ready to go again, and still has a mini and 2 more bigs. So he had 6 minis at one point, I believe. Maybe he only had 3. So only down to 1 mini, but still 2 bigs and 3 floppers. So at this point, he's just going to go ahead and box up. Let's take a look at where the storm is. way down south. Way down here. But Megga was kind of ahead of the whole... okay, so original eye was here. Megga's right next to it, so he goes and rotates, and then he's just pushing in deeper, and then the next one pops, and he's just really close. So he just goes ahead and moves in, and as you can see, he's now near the center of the circle. And this is, I mean, look how many people are out of this circle, because it's just so far south. All these people up here, and look, there's even people way out here in the storm. So, I mean, rotating early is great. It's also great that you get a circle that's really close to where you spawn. So, I mean, where you land. So Megga is sitting here in a really good position for it to kind of just wait out this whole circle, because he's going to get the next circle too. So I'm going to leave it sped up here. We got to get through. A lot of this stuff is just it's pretty repetitive for the course of these games. I mean, it's the same game plan the whole time, and Megga's just been executing them pretty well for pretty much every game here. So 141 above the damage threshold. So feeling pretty safe. He's elevated up here on this hill. He kind of has really good line of sight of anyone rotating in deeper into the circle anyway. Just, you know, as normal, just gaining information, looking around, seeing if there's anyone who's running out in the open that he can tag. Ultimately just waiting for the next circle, which he's feeling like he's probably going to be, if not in it, really close to it. So I mean, what else is there to talk about? I mean, we could talk about the ways at which you can peek and gain information. I mean, using the whole cone peek is pretty standard at this point. So circle pulls, he is already in the circle, but he's going to go ahead and immediately try to get closer into the center of the circle, because this is the circle where if you're in the center of it, you are guaranteed the next circle. And same for this circle that just started closing too. I mean, if you're in the center of it, you're pretty much going to be getting the next circle. But this one for sure, if you're in the center of this circle, you're guaranteed next circle. So he immediately starts moving. As soon as the circle pops, he sees that I'm not close to the center. I want to get closer into the center so that I can be guaranteed the next circle and not have to move, because it's a great place to be in, because you can just at that point just build up an extra layer and then just start tagging people as they're rotating in. So expanding here to farm these trees and this wood. Kind of getting shot at, but no one's not getting chosen by the whole lobby this time, and people are still trying to rotate here. So, but he has quite an expanded kind of base here. So if someone were to start shooting, he can just kind of move around in his base. So, but again, I mean, could still get chosen, you know, and it's just RNG. It's not even, well, it's not RNG because it's not random numbers being generated as to who's chosen, but it's people choosing, and it's just kind of luck sometimes, and positioning. There's a lot to it, but I just, you know, like I said in the last game, it's not, I don't think there's always necessarily anything you can do about it. If you post up and then a bunch of people post up around you, what are you supposed to do about that? And then they start shooting at you. I mean, I don't know, it's just a difficult situation. Fortunately, everyone seems to be just chilling here around everybody. If somebody wanted to, they could just start randomly shooting at one of these people and then hope that everyone else starts shooting at them, but... Okay, so, like I said... Is this him right here? Yeah, so... Didn't quite get to the center of this circle. The center would have been more over here. But does get the next circle anyway. Which is, again, kind of like... I mean, the circle could have pulled like this and still been in the center of this circle. And then Megga would have had to move. Gets a little bit lucky here to pull this next circle. I don't really think he's in the best position here. I mean, it's not bad because he's blocking himself off from all of these people over here. So he doesn't have to worry about them shooting at him. But if the zone pulls up this hill, I mean, that's just going to be pretty tough a move. I mean, I'm sure. Well, he has a launch pad. Okay, so he got the llama early, so he has launch pad, so he knows he could use a launch pad if he needs to. And other people probably have a launch pad, but still, I mean, I'm sure he would have ideally been wanted to be up here, like where Bugga is. Up here on top of this hill would have been ideal. So, but we'll see how it plays out. All right, so just playing super safe, sitting inside of a cone inside of his box here. He has the cone edited so he can see if anyone starts shooting at any of his walls or anything. Or does he? Shouldn't I be able to see that if he does? What does he have edited? I don't know. All right, he's 48 above the damage threshold. Not a whole lot. Not very far above, but probably not going to be too much of an issue. Just trying to go for tags here. It's going to get shot at, but is able to hold the wall there. All right, and then now going to see where the next circle goes, and then we'll see how he makes this rotation. Okay, so this is half and half circle. And Megga is in here. There's not even a lot of people in this circle, so I don't know. Let's see how he makes this. And I'm gonna slow it down to normal speed. He's got to go north here. He's looking towards the hill. He's trying to probably see if anyone's going to place a launch pad, or just trying to wait for people to rotate so that he can then rotate behind them. Goes ahead and blocks off behind him because he knows that people are going to be rotating behind him, and just playing it really safe, not trying to push too quickly. Just trying to follow behind people, but also protect himself from behind. Gonna go ahead and go up a layer to get off the layer where he saw this guy go. Here's someone die. Okay, so we hear someone die to like AR spam. And he wants to go get that loot. So he is actually able to go get a lot more floppers. Okay, so now he's has a ton of floppers, which means that he can play the storm game, right? If he has to, he can sit in the storm and play with the flopper. So, which is the meta right now, or it was in this tournament anyway. I don't know at which point you're watching this video. It might not still be the meta, but it was in this tournament. All right, so gonna get some shots off on Eclipse here. So now he's 62 above the damage threshold, but then enough people die. There's 50 people left now for this circle, so the Storm Surge goes away. Get some extra tags on Timber's Jelty there. It's able to get into the circle, and then, I mean, once you're in the circle, it's just a matter of looking for tags, right? And that's while people are rotating, and that's what he's doing here. Sitting himself in a metal box feels pretty safe. At this point in the game, I mean, you should definitely be boxing up in metal. I would say, if you have the metal to do that. Okay, so let's take a look at where the next circle pulls. So northeast a little bit. All right, so let's see how he makes this rotation. Trying to gather information. Gets up in his cone. So this is what he's gonna do. This is what he's gonna do. Is gonna get up in this cone so he can see as much as possible to kind of figure out how he wants to make this rotation. How do I want to make this rotation? I see that we're all gonna have to go north. I'm gonna wait to see if people place launch pads or whatever. He sees that guy place a launch, so he's gonna go ahead and go into the storm. Remember, he can tank quite a lot of the storm with as many floppers as he has, so not too afraid to go into the storm and get that launch pad there. Hits the launch pad, sees someone die in the air. He's going to go pick up the mats from that. Picks up the mats, which is great. I mean, uses a flopper. Someone else dies. More loot falls right into his face. He gets another launch pad. So now he has 2 launch pads. He's going to go ahead and use one immediately. I mean, okay. I feel like in several games we have seen loot just fall right into Megga's face. And I don't know if that's... I don't know. I mean, there's no way to know that's going to happen. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Call it luck. Call it, I don't know, the Fortnite fate choosing you. Okay, so it gets himself into what looks like a pretty decent level layer here, and then builds the 3-mat tunnel to get kind of in the front of the zone here, the Moog zone, and expands out as soon as he lands so that he has room to kind of move and to breathe and to make edit plays like that as people are rotating. He's gonna try to look for this kill here. He has plenty of mats, plenty of healing, can play the storm if he needs to. Gonna go up a layer here and then place another low launch pad to get himself down this hill so he doesn't have to waste mats getting down the hill. I think that's a really good call. To use a low pad to just get down the hill as fast as possible. Because he saw that the storm was going down a huge hill and he had that launch pad to use it, and he wants to go ahead and use the launch pad too, right? So, I mean, you can always use the launch pad to take height, but I think using a launch pad too late is a thing that happens, right? Because if you get into where the zone is super small, especially in these tournament games where there's still 20 people left, there's going to be builds everywhere. If the zone is too small and you try to use a launch pad, you're just going to hit somebody's builds and then you're not going to do anything. So what we see a lot of times in these games is these pros making sure that they use their launch pads early rather than later to get themselves into a position that is ideal, right? Because if you can wait too long and then your launch pad's just not going to be very effective in these tiny zones when there's builds everywhere. Okay, so again, it looks like he's trying to stay ahead, tarping as he needs, and then falls here. So, I mean, not too much. So I think he made 15th place or something here. Let's just take a look at it in a little bit one more time just to see kind of what happened. So he's tarping, and then someone I think just kind of runs into his tarp and he tries to make an edit play and then gets like one pump shot on him, but then so bully in your box literally tries to get in his box, which, I mean, you know, he's named that for a reason. But he's able to block him off and get away without getting touched by him. Then this lags here, but so he continued to just box up on that layer that he was on, starts shooting at one player, gets knocked out from underneath him, drops down, box up again, and then Avery comes and tries to take his wall. Avery gets the wall first try. Megga makes the edit on the cone to block it off. But then I think what happened was Avery shotgunned the edited cone. I think that's what happened. Like right when he edited the cone, it's really weak. Avery shotgunned the cone. It broke the cone immediately. And then at that point, Megga's kind of just like, you kind of have to just fight. And I think Megga gets a nice hit on him, but Avery also gets a hit on him. And then Megga tries to edit down. Avery makes the edit on the wall and just shotguns him, and he's dead. So, you know, I mean, it happens. Not a whole lot to say about that situation. I mean, what could he have done? I guess he could have just, as soon as he edited that cone that protected him when Avery first took the wall, he could have just edited out to the backside. But Avery just shotgunned that cone so fast that Megga kind of had to just like face him. It's a tough situation. But I mean, 0 kills, but 15th place. That's a decent amount of points from placement. So that was game 7 and 8, and there's just 4 more games left, and Megga does really well in the next 4 games. So I'm really interested to see how he kind of changes things up and how he kind of manages to place himself really high and get up a decent amount of kills in these last 4 games. So I hope you will join me in watching and analyzing the last 4 games to see how Megga was able to pull it all together and come out in 5th place overall in this tournament. So I will catch you in game 9.